Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So I'm coming on to do Roxy's weekly challenge for this week, and we're going to be making paper bags using one sheet of paper. So there's two different ways that I think Rachel showed them, so I'm going to do two of each way. And what I'm using is, for all of these challenges where she just uses one sheet of something, I'm trying very hard to either use up my leftover digitals, so these are leftover from previous projects, I have a whole folder full of them, or they're kits that I've printed and I've just not got around to using them or whatever, so I want to get through that folder. I've also got some of these card insert papers from, I think it's Paper Boutique, so I want to use those up as well, or book pages. So that's kind of what I grab for whenever she says, oh, we're going to use one sheet of paper and make something with it. That's what I grab for. So I'm going to start with the first type of paper bag, which I think is the slightly simpler one. They're not really that complicated at all, but it's slightly simpler. And for this, I'm going to use these inserts because they're slightly thicker. You can probably hear how thick that is. It's not card, but it's much heavier. It's probably 120-ish GSM, I would have thought. Okay, so get your paper landscape, and we're just going to fold one side in to the middle-ish. And it's up to you how wide you want your paper bag to be. I'm kind of just eyeballing it, and I'm thinking something like that is probably good. So what have I got? I've got just about 5 inches. So if it was going to be clipped inside a journal, that would be just fine. Or if I was going to send it out as Happy Mail, I could fit, a good amount of stuff in there, which is probably what I'm going to use them for. So that's our back. So it's worth bearing in mind when you're folding your paper, when you're looking at your paper like this, the part in the middle is going to be what you'll see at the front. So just bear that in mind when you're choosing your papers. Okay, and then we also want to fold up the bottom. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. I think that's probably like 1 centimetre-ish. And for this one, because this is quite thick paper, I'm not going to fold the top over to reinforce it because I really don't think I need to. So that's all the folds done. And I realise I haven't got my scissors out. There we go. So now we're cutting the bottom parts. So you're essentially left with 3 boxes at the bottom, left, middle and right. And we want to get rid of these side boxes. So I'm just cutting it at a diagonal. And then where we've got the crease here on the side, I'm going to go just above it. And what that allows is it helps with when we come to fold the bottom up, this piece isn't going to get in the way. And then we want to do the same thing on the other side. Again, I'm cutting just above that crease, like so. So then when we fold the bottom up, we've got that nice neatness going on, like so. And then we just glue it up. So just going to pop some glue along here. So we just want to glue up the back where the two sheets at the two sides overlap, like so. And the bottom. Okay, and that is as simple as my little very simple paper bag. So essentially it's a pouch, but the idea is that it looks like a paper bag. I've got one here where you've got the bottom folded up and the top open, and I think somewhere, oh yeah, there's the 2 parts with the overlap. So it's just like a paper bag, but obviously with your own pretty papers instead. Just notice I think I need to get in some more glue, but I'll do that later. And Rachel had these really fun scissors which gave her like the zigzag top. I don't have anything like that, so I'm just going to keep mine straight. But yeah, that's my first paper bag, and of course we'll decorate them at the end of the video. So I'm going to do another one in that style, just so that we know exactly what we're doing, and then the next two will be slightly different. So again, we want to fold into the middle-ish. Oh, and this is what I mean by the bit in the middle is going to be what you're going to see, because I've got this really pretty rose over here. Unfortunately, that's going to be folded around to the back, just the way this goes. Yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. But there we go. And again, I'm just eyeballing the width as to what I think looks like a decent size for either in a journal or sending out as happy mail. And then just got to decide which way I want it. I think I want it this way. So then this is going to be my bottom to fold up. And I know that this part in the middle is white. I'm actually going to, when we come to decorate it, I'm actually going to cover that with some book page, but we'll do that in the next stack. So again, we've got a diagonal cut, and just above the side creases, side folds, and diagonal, and just above the fold. Really simple, huh? Love a simple make. And of course, once we come to decorate them, we can make them as fancy as we like. Ooh, I just need to, I've cut that diagonal a little bit wrong, so I'm just gonna bring the bottom in a little bit more. I think I was a bit too gung-ho with my cutting, but that's okay. If you do that, bring the bottom up to cover that over, and then I'm just going to recut, where things are impeding. So again, I've got a new fold there, so I'm just going to cut that bit off. Just check that. Yeah, it's better. Okay, and then again, we just want to glue the two sides up. So the next one, I have done a prototype because it's a slightly different process. I would call this one, we've just done the easy one. And the next one, whilst not difficult, it's just an extra couple of steps involved really. But I'll go through it with you. And of course, Rachel's videos, her playlist for the challenge is always linked in my challenge videos. So if you want to see, how she did it and all that, just going to cut a little bit off there and there. Apparently I'm having one of those mornings where I can't cut diagonals very neatly, but that's fine because, from the front it looks really, really nice. Yes, Rachel's videos are always linked, so do go and check out how she's doing the things that she's showing, Okay, ready for decorating. Right, so as I say, this next one, I made a prototype. So this one is a bit different, and for this one, ideally you would want the thinner paper. So this one is 100 GSM. It is presentation paper, so it is slightly more thicker and sturdier than standard copier paper, but less so than this. So you can feel it, and you can feel it when you've got it in your hand. But anyway, for this, we're going to make a more traditional paper bag pocket, where you've got the back piece here is higher than the front piece, so it gives you sort of this kind of a look. This is my little prototype. Just thought I would show you how I decorated this one up. I've done this one in a kind of like a woodland-ish theme, but yeah, it gives you this really fun, on a traditional paper bag, the back piece is often higher, so that's this kind. Okay, right, so the process is the same to start with. So we're just gonna fold into the middle. And that's my picture for the front. I thought that was really cool with the, you know, the text and everything, really pretty digital. And just like before, we're going to fold up the bottom about 1 centimetre-ish. Okay, now hopefully I remember how to do it. We're also going to fold the top over, and this time we're going to fold it, I think that's probably about 1 inch-ish or 2 centimetres. So the top fold over is bigger than this bottom folder by probably about 2 times the 2 times that, if that makes sense. Like I said, please do watch Rachel's video. Okay, so your smaller, where we folded up the bottom, that is just like we did before, where we're going to cut a diagonal and then cut just above that fold on both sides. So that part, all of that is the same as what we've just done. The difference here is that we want the top to be, you know, have that higher back piece. Okay, hopefully this is making sense. So you've got your 2 centimetres-ish folded over. Again, I'm just eyeballing all of this, so don't quote me on it. And then we're also going to, so you've got your crease. We're then going to fold it again up to that crease, or just above that crease. So you've got a fold over that's 1 centimetre-ish, say. As I said, I'm just eyeballing it, so it's not exact. Okay, I've got to try and remember how I did it, how she did it. I know that I have to cut off a couple of pieces, so would you believe I only did this yesterday? I only made my prototype yesterday. Okay, so we're gonna, yes, that's right. So where you've got your boxes, this time we're gonna cut along the crease up to the second line on both sides, like that. Just have to keep reminding myself. And then these side pieces are going to fold as far as that second line, because that is the, is that right? No, that's not right. The middle piece folds to the second line. These pieces only fold to that first line, and that's how you get that dip to have the back be higher than the front. We will do it a couple of times so that it makes sense. Okay, so we're going to glue this over. So I'll glue the middle part first. It probably will take a few times to get your head around it. As I said, I made a prototype yesterday, and I already sort of looked at it this morning and thought, what was it I did? But I think with time it will get easier. Okay, and then we're also going to glue these side pieces, but we're only going to glue them to that first fold. So yeah, do try it a few times if you do want to do it like this. So the good thing about this is you can use that thinner paper, because we're essentially reinforcing the paper bag, which is good. And also you can use your single-sided paper, because now when we fold this over, you can actually see that you know, the back of it is the white is covered, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's that. Lovely. And then I just want to decide, the only trouble with this is that you do see the two separate sides of the bag like that, which may or may not bother you. I did find a way to do it differently yesterday, so I'll try that on the next one, I think, because for me, I'm not a fan of it, but I think once you've got stuff in the pocket, it'll be less noticeable. And then the only other thing that I want to do is cut diagonals into this back piece. So just chomp the corners, basically. So that we've got, you know, this nice shaped back. That's a really pretty bag. So I'm just going to ink that top edge, just because I'm not going to be able to do it as easily once it's all glued down. And then, just as we did before, we're going to glue the two sides. So once again, how did I have it? That way round. It doesn't really matter, but it's just how I prefer it. So go this away, and yes, we want to glue this all down. Okay, and then the bottom. And as I say, in Rachel's video, she did like a zigzaggy edge, which looked really cool. She had some really fun scissors that did it, but I don't have anything like that. And I don't want to risk tearing it either because, you know, yeah, my stuff's not very good. Now I do have a slight overlap where things are not quite matching. And this is where she said it doesn't matter because she used her zigzaggy scissors. I'm just going to use plain scissors just to neaten that up. I'm so glad I used this paper, it's really pretty. So that is my paper bag. Right, now I want to, if you don't like this, this part where you can see the two pieces overlapping at the front, there is a way to not have it, because on this one, I don't have that, I just have this one back panel. So I need to try and remind myself how I did it. So I think what I did was I actually, instead of folding the paper all the way to the middle, I folded a smaller section over, and then still you want your pieces overlapping, so then I overlapped it. So this will make a bigger bag. Once again, we fold up the bottom and we fold the top over. So again, a bigger flap for the top. Okay. So cut your diagonal at the bottom and above, just above your crease. And the good thing about this is you don't have to be particularly neat with your cutting most of the time, because a lot of it is actually hidden and stuff, which is good because I can't cut straight to save my life, as I often keep saying. And then just like before, again, we just cut the other side, but this time it's a much smaller amount. Okay, and then we cut down these top creases to that. Oh yes, we need to fold it again, don't we? So we're going to fold up to that line. Like so. And then we cut to the second line. I really hope this is making sense, but as I said, Rachel's video, she does it a whole bunch of times, so it definitely gets in your head after a while. So for this one, I'm going to be doing it slightly differently because I don't want that, if I fold this down, 2 seconds. I don't want you to be able to see where the two pieces join each other. So I think what I ended up doing was I refolded it. So we're looking at it like this. I then folded it this side, the shorter side, in as far as I could go to match, to then hide this flap behind this front panel. I really hope that makes sense. Like I said, it's one of those things you're just going to have to try it a few times. Now, because we've refolded it, it does mean that we have to recut. So if anyone knows an easier way to do it where you don't see that overlap at the front, let me know, because this is the only way I could think to do it. So I'm just cutting up to that new fold mark that I've got along the bottom. And then likewise, I need to do the same at the top here, where I'm cutting along my new crease, and I don't want to cut that bit, I can keep that. Yeah, maybe this way is too complicated. I don't know. Maybe it's better just to leave the overhang, but yeah, I don't know. So again, I'm going to glue the middle section. That's the bit that is lower. Okay, and then these bits, I'm just going to redo them because I think my paper wasn't straight, so I'm just going to refold that. I do like the idea of making your own paper bags, definitely. You know, you can use book pages, lots of different papers. And then I'm just going to refold these as well because I want to make sure that the white is hidden. That's why we're doing this part. So yeah, there's lots of ways that you can make these, I guess. Depending on, you know, what you're happy with and what you want to do and what you want to see and all the rest of it. But yeah, worth giving a go, if only to just teach you a few things about making this kind of thing, I suppose. So now when I fold that over, I do need to do some trimming. We only have one continuous panel. We don't have, you know, the back of it is hidden behind there. So I'm sure there are other ways to do that, but this was the easiest thing I could think of to do, really. I suppose what it should be is when you fold your first piece in, this piece, I suppose, is folding right the way across, isn't it? Rather than leaving that little bit of a gap like that, we're folding it all the way across. So I might try that on another one. If I get another bit of paper out, I might do one final one just to make sure that that is how you do it. Because this is me, you know, by the way, this challenge and stuff, it's me learning as well. You know, I'm always learning, but yeah, this challenge is really teaching me things as well. Sorry, I just glued that a bit kinky. Okay, and then, yeah, and then glue the bottom. So yeah, I will just do one last one. So I will need to get another sheet of paper out, but I just want to make sure that, you know, what I'm doing is clear and everything. I still folded it the wrong way. Look at that. Oh, I don't know if I can undo it. I used the art glitter glue. I was supposed to fold the smaller piece. Oh, I might be able to get away with it. I was supposed to fold the smaller side on the back. This will be glued into a journal, so I'm not worried about how it looks at the back, because it will be a bit not good, but okay. That's it. So yeah, so that is supposed to go on there. That's it, and then it's hidden from the front. Right, got it. Okay, let's try that again. It's because I was faffing around with trying to work out what it was that I was doing and stuff. It's one of those things. You're not going to want to make these now that I've shown you. That's why I'm determined. I'm going to do one last one to show you that it's not difficult. It's just my brain doesn't do folds and things very well, which is why I could never do traditional paper crafting or origami or anything like that. Oh goodness, no. Okay, right, what do we need to tidy up? So I want to get in my diagonal corners, so that tidies that bit up. Do the same on this side. So that's that, and then I think mine is a little bit wonky, so I'm actually going to just trim across here. That's it. I might neaten that up properly on the trimmer because obviously where I've got the glue issues. Oh, yeah, I'll get the trimmer out. 2 seconds. Oh, it was going so well as well. It's no problem. I'd much rather, you know, show you the things that can go wrong because, you know, if this happens to you, then you don't want to think you're the only person not getting it right, do you? I certainly don't. Yeah. Okay, right. We're going to do another one. I promise I'm going to show it in an easier way. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm all set. I've got this pretty digital. So once again, we're going to fold over a smaller side piece. And then we're going to fold this side. Instead of meeting it in the middle, we're going to fold it as far as we can get away with without overlapping that other side. That's it. Okay, and then when we come to glue it, remember this small piece is going to get glued to the back. Don't make that same mistake I did last time. Okay, we're going to once again fold up the bottom, and then we're going to fold that you know, deeper piece for the top. Gosh, you'll be sick of me you'll be sick of me doing this by the time I'm finished, but no matter. Okay, so just as before, we're going to cut diagonal and then just above that fold. I think I've got it now. I think I've got it. And then same again, and then we've got this longer piece. Okay, and then we're gonna, oh yes, we need to refold, so we're gonna fold half of the distance there, so we've got that, we've got 2 lines at the top, and then this is the middle piece. We're gonna cut along the crease to the second fold mark, and again on the other side, down the crease to that second fold, and then this middle panel is going to get folded and glued all the way down, and these two will get folded and glued halfway. So let's do that. I think this is going to make a really pretty bag, so you know what, I'm glad I made that mistake on the last one, because if I get another bag out of doing this video, blessings in disguise and all that, isn't it? Silver linings, always need to find them. And once again, glue that halfway. And then this one as well. I mean, if you're not bothered about seeing the crease marks and stuff in the center of your bag and stuff, then you don't really need to worry about how I'm doing it now. But if you're like me and you don't really like that look, then this might help. Hopefully this one will be less off-putting. Okay, so we've got this, right, remember this small flap is going to get glued to the back of this larger flap, so it's hidden. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to come along and glue this all the way down to the back. I'm telling myself more than you. And then we're going to glue the bottom. Let me just double check. Yes. And then we're going to glue the bottom. I'm just going to just fold that up a bit more. That's it. Just make it a bit neater. There we go. Wasn't terribly straight. That's it. Got it. That's perfect. So now when you look at the back piece, once we cut the corners off, that's all just one panel at the back. So let's cut those corners. That's very pretty with those bird cages. There you go. Bonus, silver lining, I made an extra bag that I wasn't expecting to make. Just gonna cut a deeper. There we go. That's very pretty. Doesn't look terribly straight, so I think I need to do some straightening up. I've got a bit of an overlap here, so I'll just cut along there. Should really wait until the glue's dry to do that, but I'm impatient. I get too excited. There we go. So I hope that way is a lot simpler to remember, because it is simple, it's just, it takes me a few times to learn these things. So I'm going to hit pause. I'm just going to get out some stuff to decorate these with. I don't know how many will get decorated up, but I'm just going to go for the last, 15 minutes or so, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've got some bits and bobs out. I don't know how many of these I'll get decorated, but I'm just going to go for, a certain amount of time and take it from there. So with this one, I don't think it needs a lot, but I am sort of looking to here where we've got a bit of the plain. And I just thought I would make a little ticket cluster for the bottom. I first saw Tanya from Tatty Treasure do ticket clusters way back when. She does them often, but I saw them, I saw her do them a couple of years ago. And since then, I can understand why she uses them a lot, because I do really like them as well. So I'm just going to build up. So I've got a couple of tickets. One's die cut, one is actually stamped as part of the challenge. And I don't know if I can maybe get in some of this crochet just for a little bit of texture. Like I said, I don't think this one needs much. Just gonna stretch out that crochet a little bit just to make it a little bit less uniform. Something like that, with a bit of a word. I think the easiest thing will be for me to just start gluing stuff down, won't it? I think I did this on sticker paper. Yes, I did. So yeah, I stamped these as part of Roxy's weekly challenge. I think the week was painted labels. So I did those, and then I got a bunch of my scraps and started, I started stamping a load of labels, which was very enjoyable. So I'm just gonna dab some glue. Now, I think in Rachel's video, she actually stapled things like this onto her paper bags. I actually don't know where the stapler is, so I'm just gonna glue mine. But yeah, stapling them would be easy, because then you could have, a cluster made up really quickly, and then you just stick the whole thing down, or just staple it straight onto the paper bag if you can. Obviously, I can't do it at the bottom because I'd be stapling through the paper bag, but if you were adding something like this to the top, then that would work. So as I say, I don't know how many will get decorated, because I inadvertently made an extra bag. But I'm just gonna lift that a bit. That's it. There we go. I don't think that's gonna want anything else apart from just a little bit of inking. I'm pretty happy with that. So I might just stick that second ticket down a bit more, so that's not sticking up funny, if it will. Okay, that's one paper bag made and decorated. So let's do this one, because I said about tearing that book page. So again, from Roxy's weekly challenge, I've got some painted book pages. I've got some metallics here, so I thought maybe we could use that for this. So I'm just going to basically cover all of that white as best I can anyway. So just looking as to where I need to go. Or at least cover up as much of it as I can. Doesn't have to be exact, because as you can see, my tearing abilities, I can't tear in a straight line. Okay, let's just ink that. And I thought I would do, well, kind of like what we've just done with that cluster. Have a cluster in the middle, maybe with some crochet all the way across. Maybe. It's kind of what I'm thinking. But I kind of just got a bunch of things out that I might want to use, so might be a bit of trial and error, but it's one of those things, I do like decorating stuff when I make them, because otherwise I end up sitting on them for ages and ages because they're not decorated, and I rarely give myself the time to actually sit down and just decorate a load of things. You know, I really do need to have a proper good decorating session, and I'm just not finding the time to do it. I'm not giving myself the time to do it. So I realise the text is the wrong way. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. I actually like it, and I think it adds to the quirkiness. Just going to ink that bit where you know, the book page, I didn't tear it quite right, but you know, at least that gets a bit of collage fodder used up as well. So I've got this crochet, but I'm thinking I might want to get out something that is straighter. So let me just get my bag. I've got a thick piece. Or even we could do some thinner pieces. Hang on. Some thinner pieces of crochet if I've got some, which I'm sure I do in here somewhere. And oh yes, let's do that. I've got it. That's that one. What I was thinking was we could do, you know, either side of that book page. That would look pretty, wouldn't it? So just get a bit of glue on there. This might completely ruin my idea for putting a cluster in the middle, but we'll just see. I think at least then that will hide my wonky edges as well. Make that look more intentional and neater. I shouldn't really be using these scissors to cut this, but it's only a little bit. Cut that neater after, and that will then hide this bit of white that we're showing as well. Actually, that's the thing, you know, with decorating, there's only so much planning ahead that you can actually do. Sometimes you just kind of have to, you know, go with what happens on the day as well. That's very pretty, isn't it? Reminds me of something that Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah would do. Add extra lace where possible. Wrong way, Justine. There we go. So that's that. Yeah, I think that looks quite pretty. I love the border of the flowers, top and bottom. So I have this already made. I did this in a Shop Your Trash. It's a, well actually no, it wasn't a Shop Your Trash, was it? It was a Sayonara Scraps. That's what it was. So I could just pop that in the middle. It looks really pretty. So I'm gonna do it. Might make the bag a little bit heavy, but you know, because this is quite a heavy cluster actually, but it gets it used on something, which is the point of these clusters, is you know, you've got them into stash that you can then just grab from when you're wanting to decorate something. But also once we've got stuff in the paper bag, you know, it will be heavier anyway. Yeah, I think that looks really pretty. Interesting as well with that book page behind. And aside from inking around the whole thing, I don't think it needs anything else, does it? What do you think? Yeah, okay, so that's that. So that's 2. This one, I was wondering whether to put some crochet across the top, because I did that on my prototype and I quite liked how it looked. And it also helps if you know, if your bags are not quite straight, because if you're anything like me, then you can't fold in straight lines. Then this helps disguise it as well, because the crochet is straight. So just as long as you lay it down straight, it will then disguise, you know, disguise any wonky edges. And that becomes instant decoration then with the crochet. I'm gonna have so much fluff on my desk, aren't I? Just get a little bit more glue. Sorry if I'm pulling things to me, by the way. I'm sat in my chair a little bit wonky. Right. Just get rid of those bits. That's it. Okay, that is as far as I got with that one. Because I was making plans, and then it was one of those things as I didn't want to make all the decisions off screen, and then I think because we've got this keyhole in the middle, that is obviously giving us a bit of decoration. So I don't know if we want something as simple as a word or a label or something on it. Or maybe nothing at all, maybe it just needs to be that. Got these small tickety things, so maybe I could do like a little cluster up here. The piece in the middle is throwing me off a little bit actually. That adds a little bit of something, doesn't it? I think that's all that really needs. It doesn't really need much, does it? I'll do that. How are we doing? Just trying to work out we've got time for the last one. I'll have a look at it and then I might finish it off screen, but at least then I'll show you what I'm thinking. I'm trying very hard with these challenges. Oh, I could get my words out. Not to overthink things and just to go for it, because at the end of the day, all of these things are new to me, and you know, I'm just using up like odds and ends and things. So I think it pays off when you can just, you know, go for it and all the rest of it. Before I stick the butterfly down, I'm just thinking whether I want a word, because I quite liked how that looked on the last one. Got the word special. Prefer the butterfly going that way. So I want something different. I've got a smaller word. Maybe that would be better. I think the last one was a bit too big. Most of these words where it says special or wish or something, I take from greeting cards. You know, inside it says like special wishes on your birthday and stuff. I just tear out or cut out the sentiments that I like as a word on its own for the stuff that I do. So special, wish, wishes, like remember, just trying to think. Yeah, those types of words is where I get them. And then obviously I have my nature words from kits and books, but mostly kits. But yeah, greeting cards. It's a great way to get things like this. Oops. Just sliding my word in, there we go. Yeah, I think that just gives it a little bit of a something. As I say, I don't think it wanted much on this one. I don't have any like, you know, I was just thinking you could do some kind of like ruffling around it, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I do think it wants something else, but for now I'm happy with how it's looking. I've been about the time that I said, so I'll just have a little look at this one, because I did get out this picture, and I'm probably going to build some kind of cluster around it, but I think I've probably run out of time for the video for it not to be really long. So yeah, sorry we didn't get to decorate this one, but I'm going to basically build up some, you know, like how you see me do, like I get some like book page behind it and some doily, maybe a little bit of a fabric-y thing, and that's just going to be that in the middle. That's my prototype. And then this one, obviously with the bird cages, it really doesn't want a lot doing to it. I might look at putting a little cluster down here like what we've been doing, and probably some crochet across the top. Or I'm just going to put the crochet and just leave it because it's quite decorative as is anyway. So I just thought I would do a little bit of a roundup just to remind you of how they all turned out. I just added a little bit of washi to the top of this one, just to disguise where we had that overlap. So that's another thing that you can do. And then I did just stencil this bit of white there because I thought it was a little bit stark, and I've inked around them all. That was that one. And then this one, I've left it as is for now. As I say, I do feel like it probably wants a little bit of something, but equally the more I look at it, the more I think maybe it is finished. So that's the ones that we made and decorated on video. And then I just wanted to show you, I've just gone off to decorate these last two. So this one, very simple, I just put some crochet across the top and a sentiment. I've got these on my Buy Me a Coffee as a freebie in case you'd like to have a look at those. And then I've got this one, which, as I say, I did do a cluster, just a bit of book page, a couple of bits of doily, that focal image, butterflies, and another one of my words, flowers dance in the breeze. And that was my prototype that I showed you earlier with the, well, very different vibe, the woodland autumn inspired one. So there we go, I've got them all done. So that is 6 paper bags that I've made in the video and my prototype yesterday. So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing those come together. Sorry we didn't get a chance to decorate them all on video. but it was just because yeah, I'd aimed to make 4, and then of course I wanted to show you that 5th one just to hopefully show you the process wasn't as convoluted as what I was showing it as. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing those come together. I hope that you'll consider making your own paper bags. I think I'm going to use these to, I've got a bunch of ephemera that I want to put in my Etsy shop and to send out to my patrons once I launch that. So I'm thinking I might have a paper bag for each set, because these are kinds of the colours and papers and things that I've used for the items. And then of course, you know, it's an extra thing, an extra piece of handmade ephemera that I've made, you know, that could go in someone's journal if they wanted to use it in that way. So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing those. I really like how they all look together actually. It's funny, they're all different papers, because I was just pulling random papers from my stash. But it's funny how maybe I do have a style the more I think about it. You know, a couple of you have said you could, you know, pick out things that I've made and you think I do have a style. Maybe I do, because looking at them, they are all different themes, different papers, different supplies, and yet they all kind of look like they go together. So I don't know, maybe I do have a style. Maybe maybe you've convinced me, maybe I do. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed those. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next video. I will be back with Roxy's weekly challenge next Wednesday, if, you know, assuming that I'm taking part in it next week. And the next video from me will hopefully be the lap book, which I'll be filming this afternoon to go up on Friday. So yeah, I hope to catch you on the next video. Speak soon for now then, and we'll say goodbye.